Welcome to the, oh. Good morning. My name is Gail Curran, and I am pleased to serve on the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Arlington, whether you're here in our beautiful sanctuary or watching from home. Unitarian Universalism is a faith that believes great good comes from wide diversity. Here at UUCA, we strive to be and are becoming the welcoming community we hope to be. Whoever you are becoming, whomever you love, whatever your background, abilities, or beliefs, we are very glad you're joining us this morning. Whether you're a longtime member of the church like me, over 40 years, a once-in-a-while attendee, or a visitor for the first time, you are welcome. We hope that you find here with us the inspiration and community that you are seeking. There will be a virtual coffee hour after the 11:15 service, and there will be time to meet and interact with people in the fellowship hall after this service. There's this very special event this afternoon that we're calling Awakening the Spirit. It will be from 1 to 2:30 here at church and will include a variety of activities like creating spirit boards, drumming, creating home rituals, mindfulness, yoga, and an opportunity to walk the labyrinth. Please join us.
Before our call to worship this morning, I have just a couple of announcements and awarenesses. We are so grateful for everyone who participated in our recent COVID survey, and we invite you to do so. It's still open if you have not. We are going to try to move into a little bit of singing or humming today in the sanctuary, just slowly. I see some very quiet cheering. We're moving into this slowly over a couple of weeks, and we're going to maintain the fellowship hall as an area with more spaced out seating and without singing. So I want to let you know that now. If you need to make adjustments so that you're comfortable, please do so. We are really particularly lucky today that 3 of our pieces, the prelude we just heard, the invitation to the offering, and the postlude, are written by UUCA members, composed by UUCA members who all seemingly at the same time came to Sophia and said, I have created this piece for you to share with our congregation and community. So I hope if you know those folks that you will say a thank you and particularly enjoy the music with that knowledge. And finally, unfortunately, our speaker today, Jonathan Faust, who for many years has been a teacher here on Monday evening and teaches with the Insight Meditation Community of Washington, woke this morning with a debilitating migraine. He will be just fine, but is unable to be with us this morning. And as someone said to me, I had one person say, well, he gives us a Buddhist teaching even in his absence to let go of expectations, be free from attachment. And then I had another beautiful teaching from one of you this morning that in his last sermon, the Buddha said, as people wondered, how will we go on? What will happen? He said, well, you will have to wake and be the light. So we have an opportunity today to wake and be the light and to see how much Reverend Amanda knows about Buddhism on a short notice. So with that, here we are together in this moment, in this place, and afar. Our call to worship comes this morning from friend and colleague Gretchen Haley, who serves the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Foothills near Boulder, Colorado. Open the door of your hesitant heart. Let the light shine on all the sleeping shadows. Awaken to this day that offers itself to you and to all with a great extravagance. Awaken to this gift, this beauty, this chance, that we might still begin again and anew, that we might be changed by the in and out of breath, that we might still burst forth like the crocuses, that we might still surprise the earth with a new song, sung together, calling us all in, and then sending us back out, and know it all as a blessing.
It's beautiful. Know it all as a blessing. One of our new rituals is lighting a candle of compassion. This morning, I'm lighting this candle and acknowledging loss, the ongoing pain of war, and joy. First, the loss. Last week, UUCA members, the Joe family, Wesley, Naharika, and their son Alexander, suffered a deep loss. Henry Joe, Wesley's father, passed away. He was a professor emeritus at Knox College. He was 94 years old, and he had retired from teaching in 1995. Professor Joe loved tennis and his daily cup of coffee at McDonald's with his friends. He also grilled a mean steak, evidently, when the family visited. He will be deeply, deeply missed. Next, the people of Ukraine continue to weigh on our hearts, and we hold them on our minds. The brutality of war is something they are continuing to face on a daily basis. We send them strength and offer them our solidarity and hope this comes to an end very, very soon. Lastly, I light this candle today with a bit of sparkling exuberance and joy. On Thursday, April 7th, the Senate confirmed the Honorable Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court. Judge Jackson is the first Black woman to be elevated to the pinnacle of the United States judicial branch. With so much happening in our world right now that is laced with pain and laced with sorrow, this is indeed a moment to lift us up. It is amazing. And let us light our chalice. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. Please add your voices. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to our world.
I would like to invite any children who would care to join me on the chancel to come on up. Bring your grown-ups with you if you like to bring your grown-ups with you too. And you may stay in your seat if you like to stay in your seat. That's good too. Looks like I have somebody who wants to join me. We're going to try to teach the grown-ups a song. Are you ready to teach the grown-ups a song with me? Yeah, you do? Fist bump maybe to get us going and energized? Yeah, we're ready. Anybody else want to help us teach? We're good. Okay, well, if you change your mind, you want to come up later, we'll let them come up later, right? Yeah, that'll be fine too. Okay, so there is a song that for me helps when I feel angry. Do you ever feel angry? Or sad? Do you ever feel sad? Or what are some other things you might feel that are hard feelings to hold? Worried, scared. And what's the last one?
Left out.
And left out. Does anybody else ever feel that way too? Oh, look at that, everybody. Sometimes we feel angry or sad or worried or scared or left out. And so there's a song that we sing at this church that helps me, and it starts with breath. It starts with breathe in. Let me see if we can teach the grown-ups that we breathe in really big, like this. Breathe in. And what do you think we should do for breathe out? Maybe out again? Breathe out. Oh, okay. Sophia, could you teach us that first part of the song? Let's see how it goes. Ready?
Ready? Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
How are they doing? Pretty good. So when I am sad or angry or feeling left out, I try to breathe in a certain way, a different way of feeling, because I want to notice I'm feeling that way, and then I want to try to help myself feel a different way. What kind of things do you think we might want to bring into ourselves? What might we want to breathe in to help us when we feel upset?
Remember that you're kind.
Remember that you're kind. We could breathe in kindness. We could breathe in, what do you think? Anyone else have an idea here? Did I hear peace or calm? Yeah. So, and then what about when we breathe out and we want to send things out into the world? What do you think the world needs more of that we could send out? It needs more recycling? Yes, it does need more. That is an awesome answer. You are getting some, yeah, that is great. Someone at 9:15 said we needed more air. And actually, those go together, don't they? If we recycle more, our air might be cleaner. That would be so good. More recycling, more air, more hugs for people that want a hug, right? If you feel like a hug, that can be really good. Maybe more love. Yeah. The next part of this song invites us to breathe in peace and breathe out love. Let's see if Sophia can teach us that. And should we do the same? Do you think the same movements? Maybe a heart? What do you think? Or the same? A heart for love? Okay, we got it.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out,
Ready, let's make that a heart.
I breathe out love. When I breathe in,
Bring it in.
I breathe in peace. When I breathe out,
Ready for the heart?
I breathe out love.
Do you think we can try it and ask people to sing just the breathe in, breathe out? And over here, breathing in peace and love? Yeah? Can you help them with the hand movements so that they can follow you? Okay, we got it.
Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in,
a fist bump. We're going to keep that peace and that love and also recycling for sure when we feel upset or left out or worried. Thank you so much for helping me. And I'm going to send you and your friends to their classes as we sing you on your way. You are so awesome.
Peace
Thank you.
to you on your way. May you grow in love each day. Meeting new friends and opening your mind to the wonders of the world you will find. To the wonders of the world you will find.
For helping with that. We had a good teacher today, didn't we? Helping us learn, yeah. So I want to invite us in that spirit of breath, breathing in and out, to get present with our bodies today. Start just, if you'd like to close your eyes, you're welcome to, if that feels comfortable. You could also simply soften your gaze, kind of let your gaze go to the floor, soften it, whatever feels right. And start by just feeling your body in the seat. Maybe you feel the pew or the chair underneath you. Maybe your feet can feel the floor. Take a moment to shuffle around, settle and resettle until your body feels like it's here. It's here. I invite you to bring awareness to your feet, to your toes. How often do we think about our toes? First part of us that moves forward. Take a moment to say thank you to your toes. Maybe you can feel your shoes around them. Notice your arch, your instep, the way your feet feel in your socks, the way you feel the strap of your shoe or the laces, holding them close. Send a thank you to your feet. Notice your ankles. Send a thank you, wrapping around those joints. And up your calves and shins. Maybe they are tired or sore this morning, or every morning. Send a thank you. Notice your knees bent right now. Those knees hold a lot as we move through the world. If we are walkers, those knees perhaps help us up and down. Sometimes they need help as well. Send a thank you to your knees. Notice now your legs, your quadriceps and hamstrings. Maybe you can feel the backs of your legs against the seat of your chair. Send a thank you to your legs. Notice up through your pelvis and hips. Notice your stomach, the core of your body, the way it is strong, the way it is soft. Remember that it holds inside it so many of your body's organs. Send a thank you to your core, to your belly. Notice your chest, how it rises and falls with your breath. How that breath sometimes moves down to fill up even your belly. Send a thank you to your lungs and the ribs that hold them. Notice your shoulders. They hold your neck and head and sometimes the weight of your worries. Take a breath and let them down a little. Send a thank you to your shoulders. Notice your arms, your biceps and triceps, your elbows and forearms. Perhaps you can feel your hands as they rest on your legs or on your stomach or the chair. Send a thank you to your arms, your hands, your elbows, your wrists. And now your neck, your skull that holds your brain, your eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Send a thank you to all these parts of your body. As you continue breathing, breathe in that peace we seek. Breathe it into every part, the tips of your toes, the top of your head. And breathe out love for yourself and for all in this room and in this world.
I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. I hesitate to enter the space Amanda and Sophia created with someone else's words, but I have two short readings to offer you. The first is called Feel That by Gwen Matthews. Feel that each breath, every inhale, exhale, we are living, breathing, connected. We are whole, complete, beautiful selves. We are what we were born to be. Feel that in your bones, in your muscles, in your heart, in your blood. That is the extraordinary you. That is you who was born for this time, for this place, for this moment. Feel that the struggle, the worry, the pain, the loss, the grief, all of that is still you. You are still whole. You are complete. You are beautiful. You are extraordinary. Stop. Breathe. Feel that. The next short piece was written by John Wellwood, and it taps into today's theme of awakening in Buddhism. This is called Forget About Enlightenment. Sit down wherever you are and listen to the wind singing through your veins. Feel the love, the longing, and the fear in your bones. Open your heart to who you are right now. Not who you would like to be, not the saint we are all striving to become, but the being that is right here before you, inside you, and around you. All of you is holy. You are already more and less than whatever you can possibly know. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, touch. Touch in, touch out, and then let go. The words of John Wellwood.
Forget enlightenment. I find the title of that reading really reassuring. Forget enlightenment. I imagine it sort of is, you'll never get there, or don't worry about it, or try not to focus on attaining it. Forget enlightenment and just be. This month we are exploring the theme of awakening. And as we considered how we wanted to explore that within our community in April, we thought about connecting with some of the values and principles of Buddhism. As many of you know, Unitarian Universalism draws from a number of different wisdom traditions and religious traditions around the world. Next Sunday, we will be observing and celebrating the Christian holiday of Easter and the awakening of hope in the world, the rebirth of possibility when all was thought to be lost. We draw wisdom from our Muslim siblings and those among us who celebrate Ramadan, a time of self-discipline and sacrifice, a time of empathy with others. And for many Unitarian Universalists, the principles of Buddhism, in particular the practices that invite us to be here, now, to be centered in this moment and no other, are a good fit with the Unitarian Universalist ideas of the here and now, of this world and all that is in it. There are two stories that come to mind when I think about Buddhism, and many of you will have heard these stories before or even heard different versions of them. The first is about the beginning of Buddhism, and who knows how many of these things are factual, true in the kind of write it down in a history book way, but I know that they are true in the deeper way, the way that tells us how to live, how to navigate this world. Here's the story I have heard of how Buddhism began. There was once a prince, Siddhartha, who lived in a palace surrounded by comfort and beauty, luxury, and a total absence of suffering. In fact, the prince's family made sure that he never saw suffering in the world around him, that he was sheltered and shielded so that all he saw was beautiful and joyful and lovely. One day, the story goes, the prince went out on a carriage ride around the palace and he saw someone begging for food. And he couldn't understand what was happening. Was this person hungry, without enough to eat? He went back home wondering how to understand this new thing he had seen. The next day, he went out again in the carriage around the palace, and this time he saw someone who was missing a limb, a cause of disease or violence. In some way, this person's body was not whole. And again, he wondered, what could this be that he was seeing? The third day, he went out in the carriage around the palace, and he saw a group of mourners walking. In that way, the prince learned about funeral processions and about death. Unable to integrate this new learning, this new understanding of the suffering that existed in the world, the prince left his palace, left his family, left his life of comfort and luxury and beauty, and went out into the world to try to understand better, to try to see how we could even live when so much suffering was around us and in our own lives. And they tell the story that he tried this practice and this tradition and that tradition until finally he stopped and he sat under the Bodhi tree for 49 days, 7 weeks of 7 days. And there, at the end of his time of silence, he reached enlightenment. He became awake. Awake to the reality of suffering in the world, that it was an inescapable part of human experience, of being alive for any being on this earth. Awake to the idea that it is our attachment to outcome that allows suffering to get its grips in us. And awake to the possibility of being simply here now, aware of the suffering, present to what the moment brings. There is another story from the Buddhist tradition that often comes to mind for me. I believe it is called a koan. In the Zen Buddhist tradition, koans are little stories with lessons in them, sometimes hard to understand. Maybe we'll be able to understand this one. It tells the story of a man who was walking out in the world. Perhaps we'll imagine he was walking in the woods. And all of a sudden, he realized a tiger was chasing him. Now, as you can imagine, he sped up his pace, as one would when a tiger is chasing you, and he started to run away from the tiger. In his running, he got to a mountainside and thought, if I can just climb up over this cliff, I will get on top and I will be free from this tiger that is chasing me. But as he climbed up, he slipped, and there he was, a hand on the cliff, about to fall, tiger below, cliff above, and he looked and saw there, growing on the side of the mountain, a wild strawberry. And in that moment, tiger below, cliff above, he thought how beautiful, how wondrous this gift of a wild strawberry is. He was perhaps awake in that moment. Awake certainly to the tiger, one would be. Awake to the wild strawberry. The other part of a awakening that has been on my mind is the kind of awakening that feels like a lifelong journey to me. An awakening to the injustice in the world again and again and again. An awakening to the realities of systemic racism, to homophobia and transphobia, to the oppressions that interlock, dividing us from each other, making it dangerous for some of us to live in this world in those precious bodies we have. That kind of awakening, perhaps, is the tiger chasing us. And I think as Unitarian Universalists, as citizens of the world, we are called to be awake to that tiger, to be awake to the reality of evil in the world around us, to be awake too to the possibility on the other side of the cliff, to the world that we might be able to build together if we work against the oppressions, the injustices that harm our family of people, our world. And can we, too, be awake to the wild strawberry? Even as we notice the tiger, even as it fuels our being, our passion for justice in the world, even as we seek to find the next possibility, the more beautiful future, can we be awake to the wild strawberries around us? Buddhism has two traditions, multiple traditions, but two major groups, Theravada Buddhism and Mahayana Buddhism. In Mahayana Buddhism, the point of practice, the aim, is a release of suffering, a well-being of all people. Several weeks ago, we talked about saints and about the Buddhist tradition of bodhisattvas, those people who had attained enlightenment and yet chose to stay in this world so that they might ease suffering, increase well-being of other people. What would it be, I wonder, to be awake in the present moment to all that is, and the wild strawberry, to all that is, and through that awakeness to send out our love, our wishes of well-being to ourselves, to each other, to the whole of the broken world we inhabit. Our hymnal holds a song which is itself a Buddhist practice, a metta meditation. It's in your teal hymnals, and I haven't said this in a while, but please reach for your hymnals in your pew. It's 10:31, and Sophia is going to introduce and invite us right now into that practice, to be awake to all that is, even the wild strawberry, and in our awakeness, to be the light.
We'll sing this through 3 times, and the first time we sing, "May I be filled." The second time we replace "I" with "you," and the third time we replace "I" with "we," so that we include ourselves, each other, and all of us.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
We are a community that gives. We share our time, our talent, and our treasure within this community and outside of these brick and mortar walls. Our Share the Plate offering for the month of April goes to AFAC, the Arlington Food Assistance Center. They offer food stabilization services and client staples, simple things like bread, eggs, protein, canned goods, and fresh produce. They also distribute food weekly via centers located throughout the county. Additionally, AFAC uses other distribution programs, including something called Backpack Buddies. If you're not aware of what Backpack Buddies is, you should be. There are a number of children in our school systems who do not have enough food, plain and simple. They are able to eat during the week by having subsidized meals within the school building. They do not have that on the weekend. What Backpack Buddies does is send them home with food for the weekend. It's pretty amazing. They're able to feed families over the weekend when the school meals are not available to them. UUCA's relationship with AFAC spans at least 2 decades. We hold food drives throughout the year, and congregants volunteer in several ways to help the organization. We sort and distribute bags of canned goods. We assist with all the weekly food distributions, and we serve leadership at AFAC. For more information about the program, please contact Burke Kepler. His email is in your order of service. Please be as generous as possible today. Open your wallet, open your purse, pull out your debit card, and give. There's a number of ways to do that. You can write a check and put something in the memo line for Share the Plate, or you can go to our website. There's a button that says Donate right there on the top right-hand side. Please give generously. Will the ushers please collect the offering? Please bring the offering forward. That was delightful. We have so much good music here, and we actually have composers in-house too. That's pretty amazing. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our heart to true generosity. Please join me. The words are in your order of service. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure, for giving brings us joy. Let us be grateful for our needs and the experience of vulnerability, for they teach us how to receive in community and love. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation, for it is a blessing to make a difference together.
Thank you so much, Truman. I guess you don't usher during every one of your pieces that you compose, but please do be sure to let Truman, and I saw Camille here, Camille, and is Chuck here, know as you appreciate afterward. I have one more appreciation I want to share today before we close. You may have seen in the email last week that Paul Kearney, our facilities manager, is retiring. And Paul, we are wishing you, Paul, come on up. We are wishing you sunny days ahead and many flowers blooming along the rivers as you fly fish, and just our great appreciation for over a decade of service to UUCA. I want to invite you to share your appreciation with Paul. Paul, we are so grateful, and we will be thinking of you every time we look around our beautiful building, because it has been in your really treasured care for many years. Thank you. I hope that you will take a moment after our service to express your thanks to Paul and your wishes for his sunny retirement and days ahead, and your gratitude. May we be awake to goodbyes, awake to what comes next, awake to the tiger and to what lies ahead, and to the wild strawberry. May we be awake to all we find, and then may we be the light. Amen.